Lovely. Right, so we'll get cracking. Thanks again for everybody that's joined us. What's in store today? It's just a short explained talk today. We're just going to go through what Hedgehog Friendly Campus is. So explain a little bit to you about what the programme is, how you can get involved. And we're also going to hear from some of our Hedgehog Friendly Campus teams as well. So we've got Hedgehog champions, campus Hedgehog champions from a primary school. We've also got a Hedgehog champion from a college and a Hedgehog champion from university that have joined us today. So you can learn a little bit more about how your individual institutions can get involved. And just as a reminder, please do use the chat box for any questions that you might have, either for me or for any of our speakers today. And we should be wrapped up before 1 o'clock, so you're just in time for your lunch. So why hedgehogs? Why is there a programme that is specifically about hedgehogs? There is obviously one overarching reason. Hedgehogs are super awesome, really, really cute, very charismatic species. Everybody loves them. I don't think I've ever met somebody that doesn't. But there is another reason, a much more pressing reason, and that's that wild hedgehogs are in quite a lot of trouble at the moment. So we've seen up to 50% declines in our native wild hedgehogs since the year 2000. It's a really, really rapid rate of species loss, and we are really worried about it. And there's a number of reasons why hedgehogs are in such a steep rate of decline, why they're doing so badly. And it ranges from things like habitat loss, the threat of roads, the threat of urban developments, and even garden hazards. You may have seen hedgehogs squashed on the side of the road, or perhaps seen images or videos of hedgehogs trapped inside litter. Unfortunately, they do face an awful lot of threats, which is why hedgehogs are now listed as vulnerable to extinction in Britain, which is something that probably will surprise a few of you, because we sort of think of hedgehogs as being a real core part of the kind of British landscape. But they are doing extremely badly, and we're hoping to address that situation through this programme. And when we're talking about hedgehogs, this is the animal we're talking about here on the screen, so those lovely prickly mammals that we find wild here in the UK. So Hedgehog Friendly Campus is just one of the amazing programmes out there that are trying to address this issue. And we are slightly different to some of the other programmes out there. As well as raising awareness, we're actually an accreditation programme. So it's completely free. It is basically an award scheme. So our universities and colleges and schools can get an actual Hedgehog Friendly Campus award. And the programme itself is funded and is in conjunction with the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, who are just a fantastic charity that do absolutely everything that they can to raise awareness for this threatened mammal. Please do check them out if you can. You can find them on social at Hedgehog Society, and they also have a website as well, britishhedgehogs.org.uk. So Hedgehog Friendly Campus, you can go for bronze, silver or gold award levels, and you do get certificates. So there are certificates up for grabs for this as a big thank you for the stuff that you're doing to help hedgehogs, and we'll talk about that in a sec, the kinds of things that you'd be up to. Here's what the certificates look like. It's a fiercely competitive programme. People really love the certificates, and people really love just generally getting involved in it. It's a fantastic programme. We are working with all sorts of different people. Staff and students are our main focus, but we're working with universities, colleges and primary schools at the moment. We started out as just a university programme. We realised that there was a lot of demand from FE colleges and primary schools as well. So we expanded very recently thanks to additional funding from the Hedgehog Society. So we're now working with universities, colleges and primary schools, and we are actively recruiting new institutions to come and work with us. There's about 150 teams at the moment, if not slightly more than that. And we work with anyone across the UK, so England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Please get involved. You don't need to have green space on your campus or in your school grounds in order to get involved with Hedgehog Friendly Campus, which might sound a little bit odd, but there's an awful lot that you can do to get involved, and even to submit for your award by just simply raising awareness. And of course, you don't need green space to strictly to raise awareness. Similarly, you don't need to already have hedgehogs on your campus to get involved with Hedgehog Friendly Campus. Just want to dispel that myth early on. So the whole point of the programme is that you're making a safer and friendlier environment for hedgehogs, either on the campus or in your local area. And we know that hedgehogs are doing quite badly sadly there may be some campuses that don't already have them, and that's absolutely fine. We'll work with you, and hopefully in the future that means that you can have a safe and friendly environment for hedgehogs. So please don't think that you need green space or hedgehogs already around to get involved. We'll work with everyone and anyone. And there's loads of stuff involved. So if you're thinking, I'm kind of interested, but what am I going to be doing? You're going to be completing actions or initiatives from our Hedgehog Friendly Toolkit. So the toolkit is based on our website, and it's a list of actions that are all hedgehog friendly, that are there to do one of 3 different things. So they're either there to protect hedgehogs, so protect them from hazards. They're either there, or they're there to enhance the habitat for hedgehogs. But then thirdly, there's that kind of other side to the programme, which is about raising awareness or educating people. So there's the sorts of actions, the sorts of types of actions that you might be getting involved in. Here's some lovely images from our previous teams on the right-hand side there, from installing slow for hedgehog signs to having hedgehogs within the curriculum, or perhaps doing some hedgehog-friendly planting on campus. So our toolkit on our website has a number of themes that you may be interested in knowing about. So from raising awareness to getting involved in events, through to fundraising for the Hedgehog Society, and even putting hedgehog-friendly actions into your university or college policies and procedures. It's a really well-rounded programme, and we've taken a lot of care to make sure that everything in there is best practice for hedgehogs. So yeah, from hedgehog-friendly native planting to hedgehog surveys to building hedgehog houses, or even getting involved in litter picks. There's probably something for everyone. But then for those campuses that are a little bit more interested in the kind of awareness raising side of things, there's loads there for you as well. So from hedgehog themed bake-offs to working with youth groups or within the local community, to raising awareness through campaigns, or even just simply having information on your website available for people to read. There's really something there for everybody. And yes, your campus, just to reiterate, doesn't strictly need green space to get involved in this programme. We support our teams and our volunteers in a number of ways through free workshops and talks. We provide you with curriculum-linked activities, as well as awareness flyers and leaflets and other resources, fundraising resources, and probably the thing that's been the most popular this year has been our survey resources, so footprint tunnels, and we will even loan wildlife cameras out to campuses to learn what animals are coming to visit you, and to monitor hedgehog activity on your campus. So here, if you can see on the right hand side, is an image of a hedgehog using a mammal footprint tunnel, and at the bottom the resulting lovely black inky footprints there. So it uses a wildlife friendly tracking ink, so don't worry, there's no animal welfare concerns there. So lots and lots of support available to you as part of this programme, and we do hope that there's something there that you are interested in. So I did say we've got some guest speakers that have joined us today, and first up we've got Claire, Year 1 teacher from Brackenfield Primary School, one of our hedgehog friendly schools, working towards our Hedgehog Friendly Schools Award. Claire is not just a Year 1 teacher, but also our school hedgehog champion for Brackenfield. And can I just get a quick wave from you, Claire, that you can hear me okay? Yep. And fantastic. So over to you, Claire. If you do have any questions for Claire, please pop them in the chat box. Claire's very busy because she's a teacher. She may have to dash off straight after this. So if we've got a chance, we will address any questions. But otherwise, just pop them in the chat. Over to you, Claire.
Do you want me just to explain why we got involved at the beginning, before the slides?
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah.
Well, very briefly, I run a wildlife club for the kids after school once a week, and we just cover a different animal every week. And beginning of last year, I just thought we'll do hedgehogs because everybody loves a hedgehog. Kids love hedgehogs, and I came across it was Hedgehog Awareness Week, and then I was just looking on the internet and found this hedgehog awareness, this award. And so I contacted Jo and said, would you do it for primary schools, because we quite fancy working towards it? And she said we could do it. So that's how we got involved in this, and it's been absolutely brilliant. The kids have loved it. It's just so brilliant for primary schools, particularly because everybody's got involved. It's not just the wildlife club, the whole school, including the nursery and Key Stage 2 as well, got involved. So it's been really fantastic, and we're still working really hard at we're going for gold. A bit of work, but we'll be very excited if we get it. So do you want me just to go through the slides, Jo? So it looks a bit sinister because I had to block out faces. So the first thing we did was we had to set up a hedgehog committee. So there we are. We've got a parent representative, we've got our head teacher, and we've also got the MP, our local MP involved. So that is our committee, and really that's the committee is mostly the Wildlife Club children, but also included in that we've got two Key Stage 2 children who were in Wildlife Club last year, but so that we had a representative for the higher end of the school as well. And so that's one of the criteria. We had to form a committee, a very enthusiastic father. He really is very much into hedgehogs too. And he also lent us one of those night vision cameras. So we have got some really nice pictures of the hedgehogs that we've seen in our garden. And then we had to do an assembly. So that was really quite sweet. So the committee explained to the rest of the school what we were doing to get our gold award, and just telling them that hedgehogs were endangered. And so the children really responded to that really nicely. Then another thing that we did, so I've got loads of slides. The next slide is just a picture of a hedgehog house. We had hedgehog rescue, local hedgehog rescue centre, some representatives came in to talk to the Wildlife Club, and they bought us a hedgehog house, which was great. So we put that, we're quite lucky in our school that we've got quite a lot of green space. So we put it in a corner where there are loads of leaves and trees, and behind that we asked the caretaker, when he chopped down some trees and branches, to leave us a pile of logs. And so that's our hedgehog house in situ, and we're really hoping that we're going to get some hedgehogs in there. We have actually got hedgehogs in our grounds. They're somewhere else, but hopefully they might just move into the house. The next slide is the hedgehog footprint survey. The children really loved this. They were so excited. We put it out. The hedgehogs didn't come for a few days, and you can actually see the house in the background in one of those pictures on the left. And then one day they came, and that was really exciting. They loved it, and we've got that little picture. We've got the footprints actually on our notice board, which you'll see later on. The next slide is the school litter pick, one of the criteria for getting the award that we wanted to do. And because we kind of do those things in our school for the community anyway, was to do a litter pick. And so we did a couple of those, and the whole school was involved in that. These pictures are Key Stage 1 because I work in Key Stage 1, but Key Stage 2 also went out and did a separate litter pick, which was quite popular. So that was great. The next slide is putting stickers on equipment that we use in our school to cut grass, just to make the people who are using it aware of the danger to hedgehogs, and the children really like doing that. You can see our caretaker's hands, and that's all the equipment that we use, and it's got stickers on it. And we had some stickers left over that were provided by Joe to us, and some of the children took them home to put them on their lawnmowers at home as well, which was really nice. The next slide, oh yeah, that's our big display. So after our assembly, we told the whole school about what we were doing, and we made a display. In the middle you can see a picture of a letter. That's a letter to our local MP. We canvassed him, and that was great for anybody else who's in primary schools. And you know, for British values, we learned about MPs representing us at Parliament, and we wrote Andrew Jones is our local MP, a letter saying, could you just represent us at a parliamentary debate when, I think it was in June or July, and they were debating legislation going through to protect small mammals, and the sign actually, you know, has a hedgehog on it. You can get a road sign, which we're trying to get hold of as well, and that's something I'll tell you about in a minute. So that's our letter, and actually what we did was we sent him a letter, but we also sent him a picture of the whole of the infant department. They'd all done a picture of a hedgehog, and so we were kind of excited about that, but that was great also for British values too. You can see hedgehog highways on there, and the log pine, and somebody just coming in the classroom there, and information about local rescue centres if you wanted to, you know, if you found a poorly hedgehog. We spoke about that in our assembly. Pictures that the children did of hedgehogs. We've got a bug hotel, the picture of our litter pick. We've got our footprints on the side, and we've also got on there. Well, I'll tell you about that in the next slide. So that's our display, and that's really good because, you know, parents who come into the school, we talk about that. The children are really proud of our display. So this was another activity which was pretty grim, but 5 and 6-year-olds really loved it. I had hedgehog poo in the classroom, and we looked at it with magnifying glasses, and they loved that. In fact, you could actually see in the hedgehog poo like beetle shells and stuff if you look closely, but a bit smelly. But the kids, they love that. Hedgehog poo went down very well. The next slide is, our collection pot. We were sent by Joe a collection pot, and that's really nice because that's something for young children. They don't, just giving doesn't really work so much when they're little. They like to have something tangible. So we mentioned that at the assembly, and it stays in our reception area in the office, and it reminds them, and they bring in coins, and parents come in, and in fact they shoved it under the nose of our local MP, so he kind of was, he had to put his money in his pocket and put some money in there as well. So we're collecting, and the children really like going around and collecting money. What's the last slide is, so the camera that we had. So in the middle, it's not a great picture, but the black and white picture is one of the photos that we caught of a hedgehog. At night time, he came out and moved, so we caught him on film. And also we've got 2 photographs of hedgehogs that were spotted in our ground during the daytime in the summer when it was really hot. So although the children were quite excited to see that, we were a little bit worried about that. So we put them out some water and some food, because you shouldn't really see hedgehogs out in the daytime, but it was a very hot day. So that's all of our slides. I'm quite happy to answer any questions that anyone's got, Joe, if you've got any, or you can email me. It's been a wonderful project to have. We're still doing it. We've still got a few things planned. We're building a pond in our ground. That's quite a big thing, and it's been great because we started off just doing it in Wildlife Club, and then everybody after the assembly got involved, including the nursery department. The nursery bit is not on there, but the little nursery children got really involved with our hedgehog project as well, and that's been really, really delightful and good fun. So I would highly recommend it to anybody, in primary schools, because kids just love it. And there are so many cross-curricular things that you can do as well, supported by the whole scheme. It covers science, it covers, we've done British values, and we've done writing about hedgehogs in English as well. So it's been a brilliant thing. Just thinking about things that we've still got to do. Yeah, we're still working on our pond. We're still trying to get our hedgehog crossing sign. We're very excited about that, because actually our MP has actually included this in one of the Conservative newsletters. We were on the front page the other day, so we were quite excited about that, and that kind of is one of our criteria as well, because you have to get in the newspaper. So that's promoted a little project in school, in the community as well, and so we're really hoping to get a hedgehog crossing sign. So that would be a really big achievement, I'm quite excited about it myself, more excited than I'm about teaching. And in fact, if we get the gold award, it will be one of my lifetime ambitions and achievements. So any questions, anyone?
Oh, Claire, that's lovely to hear. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it as well as the pupils. No questions in the chat box, but just a comment from me. I suppose directed at you, Claire, but also to anyone else listening. If you ever do find a hedgehog out during the daytime, it's very, very often, in fact, I would say usually a cause for concern. And the best thing that we would suggest you do is to contact a rescue centre as soon as possible. So providing things like food and water won't necessarily solve the problem, and it could be some underlying health condition. So should that happen in the future, Claire, do get in touch with a rescue centre. You have contacts with a local rescue, don't you? Or if you need to, and for anyone else listening, the British Hedgehog Preservation Society has a big long list of all of the hedgehog rescue centres across the UK. So should you ever find a hedgehog out in the daytime, that's the best advice we can provide there, is to contact your local rescue centre. Fantastic. Claire, if there are any questions afterwards, then we will certainly send them your way. But I know you're a very busy lady, and you are being covered over the lunch break, so we will now let you leave. Thank you so much for coming and talking and giving us your perspective of the Hedgehog Friendly Schools programme.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Wonderful. We're next up. We're going to hear from Beth. We're moving from primary education to further education environment. Beth is a lecturer in animal care at Brooksby Melton College, and she's also the college's hedgehog champion. So Beth's going to be telling us a little bit about what's been going on over at Brooksby. Over to you, Beth.
Hello, everyone. Hi. My name's Beth. Over at Brooksby, we are an FE college. I teach animal care. We signed up to the Hedgehog Friendly Campus Award in April 21, and it is one of the best things we've ever done. We've had so much sort of interest and people wanting to join us. It's fantastic. Which I'm so happy about. Being an FE college, we're like, are the students going to want to do it? But 100% they've been so keen. We're working at the minute towards our bronze award, and we've been doing loads of bits and bobs kind of recently. Obviously we only joined in April, and it was just kind of coming out of that lockdown, so we've been cracking on. We've been doing loads of stuff like litter picking in lots of different kind of sessions, but also we run sort of a Wednesday afternoon enrichment sort of session, and we've been doing litter picking in those times. We've done things like putting bug hotels up. We've made our own Buckingham Palace and lots of other bug hotels and stuff along the campus to increase kind of biodiversity and help hedgehogs with their dinner. We've also got 2 hedgehog houses as well that are just waiting to be installed on campus. Our students be getting involved in loads of stuff like making posters and just kind of raising awareness really of the state that hedgehogs are in at the minute and what we can do to help them out. We've also been doing some fundraising as well for the British Hedgehog Preservation Society. So we've got our collection pots on campus, we've got donation stations, so we've been collecting stamps and things like that that can all be put towards raising money for the society. We also threw a end of year summer festival in July, which we're really, really pleased with, and we ended up raising quite a lot of money for a couple of different charities, one of them being the British Hedgehogs. It was really fun. We did all sorts of stuff like glitter face paint and cake sales, and we did a teacher sponge throw, which wasn't so fun for us, but it raised a lot of money, so that was good. All sorts of bits and bobs really. We've also just recently started up a social media page, which has been really useful for kind of spreading the word and getting other people involved. We've also found that using Microsoft Teams has actually been really useful too. Again, in both recruiting students, but also just spreading the word. We've been sharing information about hedgehogs and all the things that we've been getting up to. It's really helped to kind of get more people engaged and kind of coming along to these kind of litter picks and enrichment sessions as well, where we've been chatting about hedgehogs and what we can do to help them. Just loads of bits, and as I said, there's just so many ideas on this toolkit. There's so much stuff to kind of get involved with. It can really, it's brilliant, especially for not only these enrichment sessions we've been doing, but we also run a wildlife and ecology module here too. So it's been great. It's been great for that and kind of linking in lots of different bits and bobs. So it's been lovely. And I'm just so proud of our students kind of getting so involved as well. It's brilliant. That's kind of what we've done so far, but we've got lots coming up and lots of things planned. Which involves even more litter picking. It's a bit of a relentless job on an FE campus, as I'm sure you're aware if you're from an FE background. Getting these students engaged though, and getting them doing some of the litter picking and spreading the word about how dangerous litter is has really helped. We're trying to keep our campus as clean as possible and get these students tidying up after themselves, which has been great. We are taking part in this year's big hog-friendly litter pick challenge, and so students have been doing litter picks in their kind of local areas. We organised a litter pick at Abbey Park in Leicester, which was really successful, and we've also got in the next couple of weeks, kind of after half term, we've got some litter picks coming up on campus as well, and we've got people from the local kind of parish council and local community to come in and help as well. So that's kind of in November time we'll be doing those. Fingers crossed we're going to get loads of litter cleared away and save lots of hedgehogs. We're also at the minute just planning a bonfire night campaign, which is another one of the kind of targets on the toolkit to kind of run a campaign and raise awareness about an important issue. So yeah, we've chosen bonfire night because obviously it is a big risk to hedgehogs if they've set up camp underneath a bonfire and then somebody lights it. It ends in disaster. So yeah, we're planning a campaign to kind of make sure people are aware of those risks and are checking their bonfires or doing something else on bonfire night. Really excitingly, we've now got go ahead on our campus to set up a dedicated wildlife friendly area. Which is going to be lovely. It's going to have lots and lots of things like wildflower gardens and hides and lots of bits and bobs in this area to not only help hedgehogs, but again, increase biodiversity and yeah, hopefully give a really safe space on campus. And it's great because it's kind of a multi-department project. So it's not just animal care that are getting involved on this. We've got people from our countryside team and agriculture that are all getting on board to kind of give us the skills and manpower to get this achieved. But no, we're really excited about that, and hopefully it should be a lovely place for staff and students and obviously wildlife to enjoy. So yeah, the next thing that we kind of want to do is just get even more people engaged and kind of on board with our team. I think the more people that you can get on board, the better. And we have definitely found that, you know, spreading the word around campus, getting loads of members of staff on board has really, really helped. We kind of started off kind of trying to keep it, well, not trying, but it was very much kind of just in our department. And there's a lot to do, so it's good to kind of get lots of people on board if possible. We really want to get our grounds team on board as well. There's training and stuff that they can do. And obviously they need to be aware of the risks that they pose to hedgehogs in terms of, you know, lawnmowers and strimmers and things like that. So that's our next job on our list. And we'd really like to take part in these footprint surveys as well in the spring when the hedgehogs kind of become a bit more active. And we've also got some wildlife cameras as well here that we can use too. That's kind of, springtime we're looking to do that. So that's what we've got coming up. So no, it's really exciting. And as I say, I'm just so happy that the students have really embraced it and are getting on board. It's a great thing for them to kind of, you know, get involved with. They can pick up so many different skills. It looks great on their CV. We've got students that are obviously applying to university, and to say that they've been involved in a volunteering opportunity, you know, getting involved with a charity and fundraising and things like that. Looks great, but they're just loving it. They're really enjoying it. They're making friends, and it's just lovely to see. And each week we just get new people kind of coming along and helping out. So it's great. It's really fun, and would 100% recommend to any campus that can get involved. Because it's been fab. It's been really good.
That's really lovely, Beth. Thank you. It's again really nice to hear how much you're enjoying it, as well as the students and other staff.
Yeah,
it is something really lovely, and it's something a bit different. I know that from our discussions together, there's not really anything like this for FE colleges, or certainly not for FE students. So I'm glad that we're filling a gap somewhere and giving those students the opportunity to get involved in, you know, something that's meaningful and might, you know, will be making a difference. And you can already see how much of a difference it is making for your campus. So
absolutely, yeah.
We don't have any questions on the chat box, but if you don't mind, I've just got a quick question.
Of course, yeah.
Because you've done a phenomenal job at getting students engaged and interested in this programme. I think you might be the, certainly, I think one of, if not the top FE college team in terms of student engagement.
Amazing. That's so lovely to hear.
How are you going about doing that? What's your kind of top tips for any other FE college that have joined? How are you reaching out to students?
Top tips would be, I mean, I found Microsoft Teams really useful. Obviously, it's one of the probably, well, not many things have come out of this pandemic being a good thing, but kind of online learning and this online platform, Microsoft Teams, it's actually been really useful for our campus. We're still kind of using it even after lockdown, even though we're fully back in on campus and face-to-face teaching. We're still keeping Microsoft Teams as kind of a communication channel. So it's been really useful. I've set up a dedicated hedgehog-friendly campus Teams page where I can talk to students. They can, you know, join in and kind of see what's been going on. But I also just think kind of word of mouth, once students have come along and they've got involved, and you might not think that 16 to 18-year-olds would want to do litter picking or care about hedgehogs, but they really do. Maybe it's just because ours are kind of animal care students, but I don't think it is. I think there is really that kind of love of the species. And yeah, I think just word of mouth, once students have kind of come along, we've kind of seen it kind of snowball, and I think it's all due to them saying, oh yeah, that was great and it was really fun, and come along. Plus we've been bribing them with squash and biscuits for the litter pick, so that might have helped.
Aha, now we get to the truth.
Yeah.
Bribes, that's the toughest tip.
Yeah, lots of things though to kind of get them on board and get them engaged. That's the thing. But yeah, no, it's kind of just taken off. Like you say, there's nothing else like it, and they're just really enjoying having something to get on board with, and it's almost that sense of community. I think it's really important that they have that. So no, it's nice. It's really good.
That's amazing. Any more questions for Beth? Feel free to drop us an email or pop them in the chat box. Beth's staying with us until the end, so if we do have time for questions towards the end, that's great. Just something to say to anybody that's joined us that represents a grounds team or has a contact with their university, college, or even school grounds team. We do have a training event for grounds teams on tomorrow, actually, so it may be a little last minute, but just so that you're aware. It's a half-day training session for grounds teams that tells them all about how to take special precautions for hedgehogs. All you need to do to book is email us info@hedgehogfriendlycampus.co.uk if your grounds team would like to get involved. So thank you very much, Beth. And Hannah. Hannah, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hi, Hannah. So Hannah's going to speak to us. Hannah's a student at the University of East Anglia, one of our veteran Hedgehog Friendly Campus university teams. Hannah's a student, but also a student university hedgehog champion. So is one of the team leaders for the UEA team. So we're going to hear from Hannah now. Again, if you've got questions, pop them in the chat box. And over to you, Hannah.
Hi everyone, my name's Hannah and I'm a natural sciences student in my third year at the University of East Anglia. As you can see, we have a beautiful campus with plenty of wildlife and natural habitats, and UEA has been involved in the Hedgehog Friendly Campus campaign since 2019. We're so proud to have achieved our bronze and silver awards already and are now working towards becoming one of the first universities to achieve gold, which is super exciting. So what we've achieved in the campaign so far, I've included some photos showing what we've achieved so far. And as you can see, a close relationship with our university grounds and space team has been just absolutely essential. With their help, we've managed to install multiple hedgehog log habitats and highway crossings across campus. Currently, I'm in the process of enrolling the team on the Hedgehog Ecology and Land Management training course to further raise the profile of hedgehogs on our campus, as well as installing hedgehog crossing signs beside major roads. We've also been focused on raising awareness within the university and wider community. The hedgehog-themed bake sale was a particular success, and donation points for the British Hedgehog Preservation Society can now be found on campus. Furthermore, as part of our Silver Award, we developed a really close relationship with a local brownies group. The drawing you can see in the middle there was made by one of the brownies as part of an activity we designed for them in order to raise awareness on hedgehogs and their preservation locally. And we're so pleased with what we got back from them. So many great drawings, and apparently it was a really successful session. So we're really pleased about that. And as part of raising awareness, the campaign has also caught the attention of some local press and celebrities. So the MP for Norwich, Clive Lewis, is our local hedgehog celebrity patron, and he's been really keen to get involved with our campaign. And he's mentioned us on social media a few times, which is really exciting. And we've also had the campaign written about in the Eastern Daily Press and some other student newspapers, which has been great because we just want to spread the word as much as possible across campus and get as many people involved as possible. But looking to the future, we're really focusing on creating a legacy of change for hedgehog preservation for many years to come. So this includes the grounds team training, as well as encouraging at least 25 students to sign up to be Hedgehog Street champions. this is great because they'll receive periodic updates on hedgehog conservation and ideas on what they can do to help. And we just think that's a great way to have long-lasting benefits into the future. We also have a fundraising aim for the British Hedgehog Preservation Society. Hopefully we'll manage to do another hedgehog bake sale, or other ideas are a sponsored walk, just getting as many people involved as possible and collaborating with some other societies on campus, such as the Environmental Science Society and the Conservation Society. So in addition to this, we've been really hoping to include hedgehog decline and conservation in the university curriculum, as well as creating a short campaign video to highlight hedgehog decline and what's being done on campus to help. So being a university hedgehog champion has really improved my university experience. It's been great to be part of something bigger than myself and really makes a big difference to the local environment around us. I'd say with some organisational skills, it's been relatively easy to fit in around my studies. And so I definitely recommend to everyone who wants to be involved to get as many students on board as possible, because it really does make a difference. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Hannah. It's lovely to see. I mean, you're relatively new to the role, aren't you? Having sort of taken it over from previous hedgehog champions, but it's been so lovely to see how you've grown into it. And I hope that you are enjoying it.
Yeah, it's just been so much fun.
Good. I'm glad. So any questions for Hannah, either in the chat box or anybody who feels confident unmuting? Anybody got questions for Hannah, our resident University Hedgehog champion from UEA? And if not, I have one for you, Hannah. We've got one from Jenny in the chat box. How did your uni, or how do your uni help or support with the campaign? So you had support from UEA, from anybody, sort of staff members or senior people or grounds teams or anything like that?
I'd say the grounds team manager has probably been the most helpful. We've had quite a lot of contact, and it's surprising actually. I didn't think that they'd be so keen, but they've actually been really excited to get involved as well. So definitely them.
And any top tips on kind of keeping those type of staff members engaged with the campaign or with the programme? Do you have to kind of get them involved in events or ask them for their advice, or have you got any sort of tips?
Probably just maintaining contact so that they don't forget about you is the main thing. They're obviously very busy people, they've got a lot going on, so I'd say keeping them updated with what you're doing, any suggestions or questions, they're usually more than happy to answer, but just keeping hedgehogs at the front of their mind is really good.
And are there any, what would you say is kind of the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome since you've been in your role? I'm just going to throw that one out there. That might surprise you. Maybe there aren't any. Maybe you found it really easy.
No, I'm just probably thinking it's probably spreading the word to students, because obviously we are all quite busy. But like I was saying before, like it actually doesn't take that much work. It's more of an organizational role. So I'd say trying to encourage other student participation. We are getting there, but it's just trying to get as many people involved as possible.
How have you managed it? How have you managed to get there? How have you managed to be on your way to getting there?
I'd say the collaborations with other societies is really helpful, because it means that more people are more likely to come to our events and aren't scared to, be the only person there. So we've collaborated with the Environmental Sciences Society and with the Conservation Society on the fundraiser. So I'd say that's definitely drawing more people in and getting people interested in hedgehogs and the campaign.
That's a really good point, actually, and that's the case really for any institution, whether you're a primary school or a college or a university. It's often the more successful campaigns are the ones that have looked to other groups, be they societies or other staff members, or even out into the local community for ways that you can kind of expand. So yeah, it's been lovely to actually watch how UEA's managed to get to this point, because we've obviously watched you very closely over the time, and yeah, it's lovely to see. We've got quite a few questions for you coming in actually there, Hannah. So from Holly Broadhurst has asked, what's your favourite part of being a University Hedgehog champion? What's your favourite part?
Well, I just love hedgehogs, so just getting involved with hedgehogs, really. Don't really know how else to put it. I just think they're amazing, and hopefully trying to make a difference is just really lovely.
That's well put. That would have been my answer too. Wonderful. And we've got some more questions on there, a little bit more general, that I'll address towards the end. So thank you so much, Hannah. If anyone has other questions for Hannah after today, then do drop us an email, info@hedgehogfriendlycampus.co.uk, and we can pass them along. So if you're interested in getting involved in Hedgehog Friendly Campus, whether that's at your university or your college or your school, here are some ways that you can get involved. So we've heard today from 3 different campus hedgehog champions. So just to explain a little bit more about what that role means, a campus hedgehog champion is effectively a team leader for the institution. So we spoke to Hannah, who is one of the team leaders for the UEA team. We also spoke to Beth, who is the hedgehog champion at Brooksby College, and we spoke to Claire, who is the school hedgehog champion at Brackenfield. So we do welcome both staff and students to this role. And it works quite nicely when it's student driven, as it is at UEA and a number of our other universities. I think because, well, students are kind of the lifeblood of the programme, and you're often looking for student engagement anyway, and it can just make it that little bit easier. However, if we've got any staff that have joined us today, a huge number of our teams, particularly university teams, are led by staff members, often within the sustainability team or estates team, but some do not follow that rule whatsoever. We welcome any staff member or student from whatever their background to get involved. You don't need to have any experience in hedgehogs or ecology or conservation. You just need to be interested, because we provide the training and support to get you to a point where you're feeling confident. In terms of time, it can certainly vary, but what we've done is we've come out with a rough average for you there, about 1 to 2 hours volunteering per month for the team leader role. And that's going to include activities like organising and completing hedgehog-friendly actions or activities, organising and going to hedgehog group meetings, and applying for the accreditation itself. And because of this, you get your own Hedgehog Champion logo to use on your email signature, and an awful lot of support from us. So if you're interested in getting involved as a campus Hedgehog Champion at your institution, please do get in touch, and we've got contact details to come. Here is lovely Laura, one of our previous university hedgehog champions from Bath Spa University. We've already heard from a number of from a number of hedgehog champions already, but just so you can see it from the perspective of somebody who used what they'd learned to further their career, Laura was actually one of a few of our student university hedgehog champions who went on to use her experience in gaining her dream job, as in her own words. So, Laura was getting involved in leading the team, applying for the accreditation, managing a project, managing a programme, and kind of moving forward and using that experience to get her dream job working with the natural environment. We're still in contact with Laura, and she's doing fantastically, and she fondly remembers getting involved in the hedgehog surveys at Bath Spa Uni. So it's a very varied, very fun role, and hopefully, something that you can use as part of your CV, whether you're a staff member or a student going forwards. There is another way that you can get involved in the programme if you are not thinking like you want to lead a team. We do also have student hedgehog ambassador roles available. So these are available just for students, and the student hedgehog ambassador title is just for FE college and university students. It's not a role that's available for primary schools, because often primary school children don't have 1 hour volunteering time a month to dedicate. So effectively, student hedgehog ambassadors are hedgehog team members, so they support the hedgehog champion or hedgehog champions to achieve their goals. Roughly about an hour volunteering per month to include things like getting involved in hedgehog friendly activities, whether that's hedgehog surveys or litter picks, but also attending hedgehog group meetings to make decisions about things that you might do as part of your campaign on your campus. You do get a certificate and a CV reference to go along with this particular volunteer role, as well as your own hedgehog ambassador logo towards the bottom as well. So that's another way in which you might get involved in the Hedgehog Friendly Campus programme. And just to hear from a student hedgehog ambassador, this is Lyric, one of our student hedgehog ambassadors from Sussex University, who used the experience she gained with us from hedgehog surveys and also from the conservation communication skills she gained to get from what I can tell, a very coveted position, working with the People's Trust for Endangered Species on some research they're doing into how hedgehogs use road tunnels to navigate the environment. So it's, again, something that's going to really help you in whatever it is that you are doing going forward. So those two roles, so we've got the hedgehog champion or team leader, and we've got the student hedgehog ambassador roles, are the kind of structured roles. And of course, we do also have just regular volunteers as well, so staff or student volunteers who just pick up the occasional activity, so they might help out on the odd litter pick here and there. But really what we're looking for is those people that can dedicate a bit of time to the programme, whether that's, you know, just an hour or 2 hours a month, to help lead their campaign and lead their hedgehog friendly campus going forwards. So your place is waiting for you. If you are interested in getting involved, and why wouldn't you be, please email info@hedgehogfriendlycampus.co.uk and quote, "I want to help hedgehogs on my campus." We will send you more information on how to register, and we will also send you some information on how to get involved and how to get in touch with your university or college or school team. We're also looking to recruit new teams. So if you're joining us from a university, college or primary school who doesn't yet have a team, then we can send you the instructions to register as a new team as well. So please just get in touch, info@hedgehogfriendlycampus.co.uk and quote, "I want to help hedgehogs on my campus." So we are coming up towards the end of the session. Just a few reminders. If you want to give us a follow, you can, and we would encourage you to. We're on all social media platforms at hog-friendly. You can find out a little bit more about what's going on across the rest of the UK there. Just a reminder, we are also funded by the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, and I can see Faye from the BHPS has joined us today. Hi Faye. A big thanks to them for the funding for the programme. If we've got questions, then we will address them now in the time that we've got left, and if anybody feels confident, feel free to unmute should you have a question to ask. So while I just have a gander through the chat box for any questions, if anyone wants to unmute and ask a question, please go ahead. So we have recorded this session for anybody that was that joined us a little late, so we can share the recording after today. So we've got a question from Louise. Louise, if you're still with us there on the chat box, you've asked, so you said your university doesn't have your own grounds team, it's contracted out to an external grounds team. Any tips on engaging organisations outside the university, please? So Louise, we will work with any grounds team. They are, even if they're contracted out and not a sort of integral part of the university, they still have access to all of the same resources and training that an internal grounds team would have. So that's one of the ways that you can kind of hook them in. So they have, for example, the training session that we have tomorrow, the workshop we have tomorrow, which would usually be at cost but is free through the Hedgehog Friendly Campus. They also get a certificate that they can add to their sort of CV as well. So it's all of those kinds of things that perhaps can be that hook for your contracted out grounds team. And also just letting them know, or kind of raising awareness with them about the fact that hedgehogs are in such decline and are at such risk. We've found almost without exception that grounds teams are interested and want to engage in some way, shape or form. So if you would like some support there, Louise, please drop us an email and we can give you some information perhaps that you could share with your contracted out grounds team, and our contact details just on the slide for you there. That's a good question. And I think let's just have a look, see if we've got any more questions on here. Anybody as well who wants to take part in who has strimmers or mowers. We do have free strimmer stickers available through the British Hedgehog Preservation Society. So if your grounds team have strimmers or mowers that they use, we can just really simply, you know, something very simple to get them started is send them some free awareness stickers. And we saw from Claire that example there of the students helping by sticking those strimmer stickers onto strimmers and mowers. Unfortunately, hedgehogs are very vulnerable to grass cutting equipment. So, you know, just some really simple stuff like that can help to engage with your grounds team there. Or just some general comments here we've got from Sarah about kind of that collaborative working. I think, yeah, so it's a good point about setting up Microsoft Teams. Maybe from any of our speakers, I think we've still got Hannah, and I think we might still have Beth hanging around. Have you got any tips on how to get started with collaborative groups? So I think we heard from Beth, didn't we, about the Microsoft Teams group. Any tips on getting started with that? So kind of getting
Um,
doing Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, so it's super simple to use Microsoft Teams. It's almost like a kind of like a social media kind of Facebook page. It's super easy to set up. We're really lucky that our students were already using Teams during lockdown and stuff. So that's kind of how we got ours started. But I assume it would be super easy to set up. But also just things like, yeah, social media and stuff like that. Obviously our students are all over that, especially from kind of secondary upwards. So yeah, those kinds of things really, really helped, especially in our case. But I would say also to spread the word, you know, things like posters on campus, spreading the word to staff members as well. That's been really helpful actually. Like other members of our team have kind of been, you know, talking to students in their lessons and sending them across to us really. So yeah, that's another way, just kind of getting staff involved and then filtering that down to students and stuff like that has helped us massively.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Teams especially has been super useful.
Yeah, and I think from just to add to that, Sarah, in regards to your question about just kind of generally getting started, if it's a university, you'll often find, or I suppose it might be the same for FE, but for universities certainly, there's lots of internal news channels that might be available to you. So be that internal emails or departmental newsletters, or just something as simple as Beth mentioned as having a poster, you know, do you want to get involved in this programme, contact this email address. So there are lots of ways that you can sort of reach out to staff members and students to form a team, and it probably will depend to some extent on kind of the setup of your university. So Sarah, what I would urge you to do is drop us an email and perhaps we can have a little chat in a little bit more detail about how we might go about getting your university a team set up. But thanks for that question. Thanks, Beth, for the answer there as well. I think, Hannah, if you're still there, we've got a question from Jenny, which I don't think we've covered yet, about fundraising. So we've got a question from Jenny there about how did you approach your university with your ideas for fundraising?
It's quite simple actually. The SU are really easy to contact and they really like this sort of thing. So just drop the SU an email and then they advise you on the way to do it, whether that's through like a GoFundMe portal or physical cash collection. The student union are really good at that sort of thing.
Oh, right. So you went through the Students' Union. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess because students' unions often have dedicated kind of raising and giving societies, or, you know, they might have had experience in dealing with that from previous societies as well. Is that what you found? They're quite helpful in that way?
Yeah, lots of societies do fundraisers, so do the sports clubs. So they're quite well versed in how it all works. So they just sort of send you information packs and then you can just get on with it.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're well supported in that respect, Hannah. And I hope that gives you some idea there, Jenny, about how to approach your uni. So perhaps go direct to your students' union. But we've got lots and lots of ideas for what you could do for fundraising activities or events on our toolkit. And if you'd like more information there, we've even got a fundraising pack for the Hedgehog Society. So if you'd like more information on that, please do get in touch on the email address on the screen at the moment. So we've also got just a quick question from Louise while we've got the next couple of minutes. Does Hog-Friendly produce leaflets to tempt students to become Hedgehog ambassadors? Yes, we do have Hedgehog ambassador leaflets available, which you can request. We have them in digital form and physical form. So Louise, if you would like some of those, please do just, again, get in touch on the email address on the screen. Fabulous. So I think we've covered all the questions in the chat box. If you've got any questions after today that you think of when you're eating your lunch, drop us a message. So info@hedgehogfriendlycampus.co.uk or on social media @hog-friendly. And please do get in touch should you be interested in getting involved in either starting a team at your campus or getting involved in a team that's already set up. So same email address, and just let us know that you want to get involved. So thank you all very much for coming along. It's been wonderful to have so many of you attend and some really great questions from you all as well. So thanks for being so engaged. Thank you very, very much to our speakers as well. So I know we've only got Beth and Hannah. Claire had to dash as she's a teacher. But thank you so much for coming along and giving us your perspective. And it's been really lovely to hear actually from your perspective about how it's been useful for you personally as well as from an institutional level. So fantastic. We shall let you go and go and enjoy your lunch, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon. Thank you very much.